Hey guys, so today's video, we're going to go over what to do with your stubs and how to invest and prepare for future content in MLB The Show 22's Diamond Dynasty. Now, we already know that the game's content release schedule is not going to be exactly the same as 21 because, well, it went from an inning program to a featured program, which operates much differently. But no matter what, new players to MLB 22, they don't know what to expect in terms of collecting cards that aren't the live series, and that is something that I want to discuss in terms of what to do with stubs for players that are free to play, players that have a ton of resources, players that have no interest in completing the live series, and people that have already completed the live series. What do you guys do with your cards? And this video is going to explain all of that. If you enjoy the content, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. All right, let's get into it. All right, guys, so here's my current team and what I'm operating with. I've spent quite a bit of money on the game. I've also grinded it for 220 hours as my subathon is still going on at the time of this recording. And obviously, I've gotten to use some of the best cards in the game. I've also completed the BR program and all of that. So now it's like, what do you do? I am very, very close to collecting the live series and finishing it off. I've got 4 teams left, and it's really just the big guys among the National League. So let's talk about what's going to happen next and what to prepare for. In my opinion, no matter what, if you are a casual player, this is your first year playing, if you're not going to spend any money in the game, the live series should always be your first priority, because once it is finished, I equate it to something like an MMO, where once you've gotten to the max level, basically the whole game opens up, because once you have completed the collection, it's going to take you a long time, no matter what, especially if you are not going to be playing the game a ton. It is still something that you should be working towards, because you can build a free-to-play team while collecting these cards and still be fine. So the reason why it's so important is that this Randy Johnson can be in your starting rotation for the entire game, and you can get it right now. Same with Frank Thomas. His attributes are going to be among the best for the rest of the game, and by the time that there's even a chance he can be taken out of your lineup, it's going to be very, very late in the year. And even Roberto Clemente, obviously a lot of people are going to look at he doesn't have great power, so maybe he's not as interesting. For anyone that plays this game a lot, as you get into the higher difficulty levels in ranked seasons, the attributes that you want flip. You really want to make sure that all of your players have high contact, because that impacts the size of your PCI, and as you get into Hall of Fame and Legend, that becomes much smaller. So the higher your contact, the easier it is to actually get hits. And he's unbelievable, like fielding, and even if you parallel him, his power is quite good. So all of these cards will be used when the game is at its final moments, its final portion. You've reached the finest, or if you're from NHL, the team of the year, they'll still be used, which is why I always recommend putting all of your resources into building your collection. So what I want to talk about real quick before we get into what's coming, in terms of how do you complete the collection if you're free to play and you're not going to spend money on the game. What you want to do, and the easiest way to do that, is if you go to online modes, for example, and events is a great example of this. If you go to the view rewards, for example, this one's a very, very short event, the Nike City Connect, so this isn't a very good example of it, but it is regardless. So Willie Mays, this card right here, you get it after 10 wins. If you look, he is going for 10,000 stubs on the market. So that's 10,000 more stubs that this player is not going to be in your lineup, and you're not personally worrying about the cards that are going to be used in collections a little bit later on, and I'll get to that in a second. Your entire focus is on getting the live series collection done. So you could sell Willie Mays for 10,000 stubs and go get someone like Matt Olson, who is going for 10,000 to help complete the Atlanta Braves program. Then you get to 15 wins, you get Don Sutton. He's going for about 18,000 stubs, and as you can see, that is how it goes. The other online programs is also another great way. So because you don't have to go 12-0, so you can complete it by just playing the game. This Larry Doby is going for 14,000, but then as you get further, Jason Bay, 45,000. And the earlier you do it in the release of the season, so the Battle Royale, it's about to be reset in 8 days of the recording of this video. The earlier you finish the program, the faster and more expensive, or the higher the price you can sell these rewards for. So just keep that in mind. I actually I got Pedro Martinez for mine, and I sold him for 60,000 stubs, and that was a few days ago. But again, that's just something to keep in mind. But while you're getting these rewards, guys, while you are still trying to get the live series collection done, this is how you get a substantial amount of stubs that you can then put into your live series collection to try and complete it as fast as possible. Obviously, flipping on the market is another extremely effective way to get stubs to complete the collection. And again, I have a full video that shows you how to flip on the market. Very, very easy. You're going to want to go and watch that if you haven't already. It's going to explain exactly how to flip and make stubs very quickly on the market. Okay, but now let's talk about what's to come. So obviously, the live series collection is the most important collection, but what else is coming? You're new to the game, you're not really sure. You go into here and you see the Legends and Flashback collection. You see that I've completed a lot of them. So for example, the rookie collection, right? If you collect 10 rookies, okay, you will get this Mark Pryor, which is awesome. At the start of the game, you get a free card for just locking in these cards, and you'll get them through completing the BR program, through doing, maybe there's one that comes out via an event or something like that. You can lock it in and make sure that you've got this Mark Pryor. But what is going to happen is there will be a program that comes out for a very, very high impact card. And I'm going to show you guys what it was like in MLB 21, and it might be different. It might operate a little bit differently, but more than likely, this is how it's going to work because the collections don't seem to be any different. Okay, so we're loaded up into MLB 21, and again, I want to show you what is coming and what to do with those old Legends and Flashback cards that you've probably just been ignoring. And again, I think that you shouldn't worry about this until you get the live series collection done, or you've decided that the live series collection is just not what you're going to be focusing on. So in MLB 21, there was a few of these, but I'm going to use the Mariano Rivera as an example. So this came out early on in the year, about a month in or a couple weeks in. And you'll see here, it was a 99 Mariano Rivera. Now, how did you acquire that? You had to collect 14 of these vouchers, okay? And how you actually acquired these vouchers were by collecting future stars, for example. So, as you see here, let's go and take a look. There was a voucher for breakout cards, all right? So, if you go and take a look at the breakout cards, you had to collect 15 of them to get the voucher, all right? And that voucher then could be turned in to get the Mariano Rivera. So when that comes out, when the new 99 whatever card comes out and it requires you to collect a lot of these, Killebrew might not have gone for anything at all because he's an 83 overall gold, for example. But at the time when Mariano Rivera came out, he jumped up to like 21,000 stubs because there's only a select few of them that you can collect. And this is going to be for all of these different ones like Veteran and All-Star. So you have to pay attention that when you see some of these flashback cards that you're not using on your squad, they are important to keep and collect because if you are going to prepare for these new player programs that come out, you're going to need them. Okay, so jumping back into MLB 22, we'll use the cards that are here right now. So the Veteran collection, right? 10 is to get Andrelton Simmons. You're probably going to need to collect 10 whenever the first player program drops. So you want to make sure that while you're going through that, like, let's say this, Ottavino card, for example, it's 16,000 stubs right now. Well, I guess you could get it for just above 13. Pay attention. If you have some extra stubs and let's say you're pretty rich, maybe you've completed the live series collection, you've spent a lot of money in the game, or again, you've decided that you're not going to complete the live series collection, pay attention to those because these will shoot up in price when that drops, and it does look like that's how this is going to operate going forward. So these are very important collections to focus on, and by doing the live series collection, you're going to complete a lot of them. For example, the awards one, I mean, you get Dallas Keuchel, Kirk Gibson, and then Frank Thomas as just rewards for completing the live series collection. You'll see how important it is to work on that. One of the ones that's going to be very, very difficult and tough to do is the prospect one. Now, if you do the Conquest, the Nations of Baseball Conquest, essentially you can do it twice, and it will give you enough prospect packs to make sure that you have enough to complete that because it is part of the rewards, these the prospect packs for completing it. So I've done it I've gotten 8 of them, and I will probably do it one more time, but I was able to actually buy the rest of them. But it's just something to keep in mind. That's usually one where you see a big change in price going forward is the prospect one. So for example, if we go down here, we'll do Paris. He's going for 1,536. For example, he'll probably shoot up to 3 or 4K when that player collection comes out because you're going to have to collect 25 to get Adley Rutschman and the voucher for that player that comes out. Another one to keep in mind, guys, is pay attention to these ones because while You only get one show pack. I guarantee you're going to be able to get a voucher if you collect all 5 of these. So again, these cards are kind of forgotten because they are only available via the cover ones, and obviously they are somewhat replaceable, even though I was able to somehow get parallel 5 with Randy Johnson. I guess I used him enough, but they're already being replaced by better live series cards and players that are using them. So just be on the lookout for them, because eventually they'll release them, like they'll release packs of them, but it won't be till later. And when the first player program comes out, if there's a voucher required for these ones, these are going to shoot up to like 30K, because there's no other way to get them other than you know, if you had them prior. The other one is the cover athletes. This one's still a very expensive program. It's starting to come down a little bit because there's so many good cards coming out, and Joe Mauer isn't as sought after, and you can't use these for the live series collection. So be on the lookout for this. It's going to cost you about 300 to 350,000 stubs to complete this, so just be aware of it. That is what I wanted to do in this video, was to just make you aware of what's coming. So guys, I hope this helps set up the next few weeks and what to do with your stubs. Explain, you know, maybe the beginners of the game what's coming. Just something to keep in mind. Make sure you stay on top of it if you can, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a like and let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I'll see you next time, guys. Have a good one.